one day I was in, this was 2 years ago, I was in LA and I received a call from my agent saying, Gareth Edwards wants to meet you. And I was like, about what? No, we don't know anything. The only thing we know is he's preparing Rogue One. And I was like, shit. But you know, the first thing I thought is like, oh, after Rogue One, he's gonna want to do a tiny independent movie and he wants me for that.
Because that's how you kind of perceive yourself and as an actor?
Well, I don't wake up saying like, oh, I want to do a Star Wars film. I'm gonna go work out to make sure I'm ready for when Star Wars comes. Like, no one thinks like that. I mean, at least not myself. I was just like living my life in Mexico. And so anyway, I got this call. I go to a restaurant and he's there. And I think this is gonna be like a 15-minute meeting where he just wants to see me and say hi and figure out who that actor is, in order to one day probably think about a role I could play, but not like he was gonna tell me something. And he starts whispering in the restaurant and looking back. You know, every time a waiter would come, he would just pretend not to be talking about that. And he starts talking about Star Wars and about the film he's gonna shoot, and he starts telling me the story. And I go like, what is he doing? You know, and he's like, and then this man, and so this man grabs this and does that, and then the man, and I go like, is he telling me he wants me to play that man? Or, but I didn't ask him, you know, I was afraid of getting a no, I just need the phone of your friend, what's his name? Anyway, so I was like, I'll stay here.
He was going to ask for somebody else's phone number.
Well, I mean, I made it a little bit of a joke, but it's kind of true. I was afraid of getting a no. I'm not offering you anything. I don't want you to play this role. I'm just telling you the story I'm working on. What are you doing?
You're going to pick up the check today, too.
Exactly. Yeah. But then he opens his computer and starts showing me designs and stuff, and I just went like, wow, this is amazing, but I don't know what to do with this information. And then he says like, well, I'm gonna propose you as the actor to play Cassian, and I just want to know if you want to, because we're gonna have to go into a journey of going through filters that, you know, we have to pass, stages we have to pass for you to get the role. And I went like, yes, perfect. And then it was 5 months of putting myself on tape, flying to London, a month of not hearing anything from him, and then going like, shit, this is over. And then one day at 2 a.m. in the morning, I'm sleeping in a hotel in Budapest. I was shooting something else there, and my phone rings, and I go and I see like a British number. You know, it started 44, and I went like, oh, this. I have family in England. Half of my family is British, so I thought it was like a drunk cousin or something. And I went like, oh, I'm not gonna answer it. And as soon as it stops ringing, I go like, oh, Gareth. Damn, Gareth. And I go, and it was Gareth. And I call him, and he's just, I mean, he's sharp. So the first thing he says is like, welcome to the world of Star Wars.
Wow.
And I just go like, wow. I started shouting, and like I became the happiest Mexican in the planet, I'm sure. But then he says, don't tell anyone. And suddenly everything goes like, it's like a bad joke, right?